Okay, let's see how this one goes. Wondering how big we're going to make it. I think we're going to go bigger than 200. We're going to leave it there for now. This one's a newspaper clipping, so we've got to cut out some of that, or that heaps of that background removal. No, we don't want it that contrasty, just a little bit. All right, let's see what we've got. We've got here an interesting picture, a pair of women in an airplane cockpit. I think this is a, basically I think this is from, if I remember correctly, from a financial paper. So financial paper out of that. So we're just going to put that on the glass like so. So I'm pretty sure this was so this is going to be a lot smaller than A6, so 200's too small. So now we're just going to switch over and make it bigger. Going to make the horizontal 240 and the vertical 240. But yeah, interesting, a pair of women in a cockpit. I mean, women's liberation should have given us that kind of freedom decades ago, and it's still not as much as it should be. Like, women still get paid a lot less than men. Women still have to pay more to get their hair cut, whereas men get it cheap, which is a real double whammy. So I don't see any real equality here. I'm very cynical about how things are. You're going to make that a bit taller. But, you know, they should have had this more often in the past. Like, it's not good enough. And still, you know, most CEOs are pretty well blokes. So we live in a pretty unfair kind of a world, folks. It's not as equality driven as it should be. Oh, I need to go here to the background removal. I think we put too much in. So we're just going to go there. We don't want to bleach out all the colour. But yeah, they should have, you know, women should be earning the same amount as men, and they should not have to go to the hairdresser and pay more. So it's a real sexist world we live in, folks. We don't really live in a world of enlightenment. But what can we do, folks? Anyway, that looks a bit better. That's got more shading in it than this first one, and we've got it nicely cropped. It's a little bit stretched on the vertical, but you don't notice it much. It's only a slight amount. So I'm wondering where the centre of this job is going to be. Going to make that. But yeah, it still seems novelty that women are pilots. It shouldn't be a novelty anymore. It should be a fact. And even when I worked in the photocopier industry, we didn't have that many women being technicians. I think when I worked for Xerox back in 1990 till 1991, there was still only like 2 technicians in the field driving cars and fixing photocopiers. There was only 2 of them. So that was 1990, 1991, which was a long time ago, but it still seemed a bit silly that only 2 out of the 100 or so, or just over 100 technicians on the team, only 2 of them were females, which is a real shame. And when I worked in the workshop rebuilding photocopiers. I was the only female in the whole fucking workshop. So it goes to show not many women. I don't know whether it's the sexism of the company or whether women are just not confident enough to try to challenge the stereotypes of workplace equality or inequality. But basically, yeah, I know it was a long time ago. I wonder how much has changed. I wonder if there are more women technicians now than they were then, or much difference. That's a good question. Yeah. Anyway, that looks quite interesting. I think now we can call this demo. Whoo, quits.